Hello and welcome back to Digital Asset Daily. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in your corner of the world. I want to get into a little bit of an extension from the previous video, but I want to follow out of it with a little bit more explanation from the content instead of so much from my perspective. All right, let's dive right in. The SEC obtains emergency asset freeze and charges crypto fund manager with fraud. So the Securities and Exchange Commission today announced, the date of this article is December 28th, that it announced and filed an emergency action and obtained an order imposing an asset freeze and other emergency relief against Virgil Capital LLC and its affiliated companies in connection with an alleged securities fraud relating to Virgil Capital's flagship cryptocurrency trading fund, Virgil Sigma Fund LP. The commission's action alleges that the fraud was directed by Stefan Quinn, an Australian citizen and part-time resident of New York who owns and controls Virgil Capital and its affiliated companies. Next, we have Chainlink will face the SEC next after Ripple. So again, be patient. You can see this is basic, and here's my perspective on this. It's going to go down the line. They're going to start checking the boxes on all of the assets that are out there. And as Brad Garlinghouse has said, there will come a time when basically 99% of the cryptocurrencies and assets, digital assets, will pretty much go away. I feel like this is the time. Not that it's a direct attack on Ripple or XRP or Brad Garlinghouse or the executives. It's just part of the process which is going to assure their placement in the new financial system. It's not a pinpoint laser target on their back. This is going down the line. SEC obtained the emergency asset freeze and they charged a crypto fund manager with fraud. It's only going to make it more safety for the adoption and for the mass of the population, the global population, to be able to come into this, to feel safe, and to have that security that their funds are actually being used and designated as intended. So again, we have Chainlink, which is Link, will face the SEC next after Ripple. Zeus Capital believes that the SEC will go after Chainlink and its founder next. Zeus Capital also questions Chainlink's numerous partnerships and suggests that the project is a direct beneficiary of the flash loan phenomenon in DeFi. Zeus Capital has a running $100,000 USD reward program for information on Chainlink's questionable practices. Now, having said that, let's move into the next. As we stated in the previous video, the connections and the regulation that Ripple has gone above and beyond to assure that it's doing things legally and correct, and assure it has the understanding, the knowledge, and the experience, and the ability to stay within those regulations. Ripple adds Sandy O'Connor to the board of directors. This is December 14th. So at the time, Ripple is thrilled to announce that Sandy O'Connor is joining its board of directors. O'Connor has over 30 years of leadership experience with a deep background in finance, treasury, capital markets, and regulatory affairs. As Ripple expands its global network and continues to push for regulatory clarity in the United States, she will provide counsel on key government relations and regulatory initiatives in the company's next phase of growth. Now, I want to move beyond that because, again, this is going to show a broader picture of what's really happening. And this is needed. This is necessary. And that's why I'm very confident in Ripple and its team. Guys like Joel Katz, David Schwartz, you have Brad Garlinghouse, and then you have, obviously, those are the superstars and the favorites within the community. Then you have other people within their company who are helping to build it. Believe me, they didn't put this much effort, this much time, and this much experience to establish such an amazing fintech company to throw it all away. That's not what these guys are about, and it's not about their history. Even last year, I've gone into the history of some of the executives, specifically Brad Garlinghouse, and shown his history of how he tends to build companies with laser-like focus. And again, if you understand that, that's not something that you tend to make a little bit of profit and throw away your entire credibility in your entire history. So now let's move into this. The Trump administration bolsters order barring U.S. investment in Chinese firms. So what I want to do is scroll down just a little bit into the article. This should allay concerns that U.S. investors might unknowingly support Chinese military-controlled companies via direct, indirect, or other passive investments, he added. The Chinese Foreign Ministry said on Tuesday that China is firmly opposed to the smearing of China's military-civilian integration strategy, politicizing economy and trade, abusing the power of the state, stretching the concept of national security. Such actions go against the principles of market competition and international trade that the United States has always prided itself with, the Foreign Ministry spokesperson office told Reuters. Specifically, some media outlets reported that the Treasury was seeking to exclude Chinese companies' subsidiaries from the scope of the White House directive, which bars new purchases of securities of 35 Chinese companies that Washington alleges are backed by the Chinese military, starting in November 2021. And what did President Trump say? He was not a fan of Bitcoin. And then that brings up the issue of Bitcoin won't win worldwide adoption because China controls it, states the Ripple CEO, Brad Garlinghouse. And then how China controls Bitcoin. First, it is home to a majority of mining operations for Bitcoin, and this confers it is the power to control the supply of coins in the market and to raise transaction fees based on mining difficulty. As has been the case in the last year, high transaction fees could dissuade the use of Bitcoin for daily transactions and make it more cost prohibitive for trading. Second, China is also home to some of the biggest cryptocurrency exchanges for trading Bitcoin, such as Binance. These exchanges clock high trading volumes and attract international retail investors due to their cheap fees. To be sure, the idea of global currency is not new. Noted economist John Maynard Keynes proposed the idea for a global currency during the 1944 Bretton Woods Conference. A central bank called the International Clearing Union would be responsible for issuing Bancor, a global currency that would trade on par with national currencies. The Bancor would be used for trades between nations, thereby removing imbalance in exchange rates and the inherent advantages and disadvantages that are associated with it. So again, I just wanted to point that out, as for me, I never took any of this as a direct pinpoint pulling you out, you're the bad guy with Ripple, because they're one of the few that have had these regulators connected to them to assure they were doing the right thing from the very beginning. I did want to bring this up, and let's recap really quick. This is where the SEC had charged a crypto fund manager with fraud. It's projected that Chainlink would possibly be the next attack, and Ripple adding Sandy O'Connor, who has a focus on regulations. Trump pulling up Chinese investment firms had mentioned that he was not a fan of Bitcoin as far as cryptocurrencies. And here's an explanation of why I believe Bitcoin will also soon be under the attack too, because of its China connection and control. Those are my thoughts on what's going on, and I believe it's going to start clearing the field, so to speak, so that it can make a level playing field. And I believe next year will be a very exciting year, and I believe these currencies will be able to start doing what they were designed to do. Guys, remember, this is not financial advice, but entertainment purposes only. And before I go, I want to leave you with a final thought. Be strong, but not rude. Be kind, but not weak. Be humble, but not timid. Be proud, but not arrogant. Much love. I'll catch you in the next one.